Hi everyone, how are you doing? Recently, Earl got in touch and he asked what are all the different options we've got with a fixed prosthetics on All on X. And I thought this was actually a really good question because there are so many variations and I don't think I've covered this all in one video. So first of all, we need to define what a fixed bridge actually is. A fixed bridge is a bridge that the patient is not able to remove by themselves. And typically what this means is it's screwed into position. So you need a special driver, a special screwdriver to unscrew the tiny little screws and then you can take everything off. A fixed bridge like this has a number of advantages. The biggest advantage is that it can be taken off, we can inspect our implants and the patient themselves feels it's a bit more of a natural solution. It means you don't have to take your teeth out at night, okay? And there's a lot of psychological stuff which a lot of patients don't like, with having to remove teeth in that way. Now, in Earl's comments, he does say that he's aware of the screw retain solution and he wants information because his dentist is looking at a Locator solution. Okay, now locators are a type of a removable bridge. Okay, so I'm going to use the word denture and bridge almost interchangeably because it's a bit of a grey area when you're talking about implants, because a locator denture or a bridge is a full set of teeth which is clicked into position, and although you are able to remove this yourself, and you absolutely should every single day, it's not something that's going to fall out. It's really solidly gripped in, so it's almost as tight as a bridge once it's in, but you have the flexibility to remove this thing yourself, to give it a good clean, to give your implants a good clean, and then you can pop it all back in. Now, there is a bit of a grey area in between. You would think something like this is well defined into two categories, but there is a bit of a grey area. So let's look at all the fixed solutions, i.e. the screwed in solutions. We'll quickly skim over all of these, the advantages and disadvantages. Then we'll look at the removable ones, and then we'll look at what we have in the middle, because there's not a lot of options, but I think it's nice to be aware of all of these solutions. So with the fixed ones, we can split it up into three categories, okay? And I've done videos on this. The complicated terminology is FP1, FP2, and FP3, but all this really means is when you have a full set of teeth on implants, do you have fake gum above the teeth, okay, or below the teeth if we're looking at the lower arch? And this is called an FP3. Then we have the other extreme where we've got a full set of teeth and we've maintained the patient's own natural gums. This is an FP1. And then we've got this really annoying category in the middle, which is where the teeth are made, but they're made long, okay? So this is called an FP2. In my opinion, this should have been an FP3 case, but the prosthetics have kind of made individual teeth and the teeth look long. They aesthetically, it's not very nice, but typically we get away with solutions like this because our patient's lips are low and it's not really very visible what's going on. Now, the options here aren't so much like you can go into a practice and say, oh, I'd like an FP1 or I'd like an FP2 or a 3, whatever like that. It's not like going to a restaurant where you can choose whatever you want. In my opinion, this is heavily dependent on the initial situations. So if somebody is coming to see me and they have lost their teeth either through breakages or tooth decay, but gum disease isn't the main issue, then I know that the gums are going to be in a pretty good position. So we can maintain the position of the gums and then we can have the right sized teeth to go on top of the gums and we get a beautiful result. The other side of the coin is somebody has a lot of gum disease, then a lot of the bone and the supporting tissues of the teeth have been lost and we're unable to rebuild everything. So then in these situations, I think having the fake gum solution is going to deliver a much superior end result. The next way to look at these fixed prosthetics is to look at it by the materials that they're made from. Okay, so if you've been watching this channel, you know that I absolutely love a zirconia bridge with a metal framework within it. This metal insert bit, it gives the whole prosthetics more strength. Okay, so remember, zirconia is a beautiful material with the correct lab technician, the artist behind this. You can have an amazing looking smile made from a single kind of puck of zirconia. Okay, you add the layers of the gum, you add the colors in the teeth, and it can look really, really beautiful. But the problem with zirconia on its own is that it can be brittle, and in our experience, 4 or 5 years down the line, a full zirconia bridge without the metal framework can just suddenly crack in the middle. But even a solution like this, maybe it does have its place, okay? So we can look at different materials for our fixed bridges. So instead of having different materials, which adds complexity, it adds cost, okay? We can now have single material bridges which fit directly onto our multi-unit abutments. And these bridges can be made from zirconia, they can be made from PMMA, they can be made from 3D printed resins. And 3D printed resins are coming on leaps and bounds. There's certain 3D resins that we're using now, and we're using them as a semi-permanent solution. And this is how we've really dramatically brought down the cost of one of our all-on-4 kind of solutions. We can use specially designed screws, and this is really important. The magic is really in the screw decision that's used here. And what we can do is have a 3D design made on our computer. A 3D technician can make this for us. We can then have this printed, which is a relatively inexpensive way of making a bridge, and we fit it in position. I still don't trust this as an absolute final set and forget prosthetic, but it's definitely a long-term prosthetic. And when you're weighing out the cost of making these things and the cost of replacement, we're almost going into a kind of a disposable kind of bridge, okay? Not disposable as in, remove it every day, but maybe once a year, maybe once every 18 months or something like that. Now, in these videos, I can't talk about absolute cost, okay? So what I want to do is talk about the variety of options that we've got, because every dental practice you go to is going to price things up differently. But in general, the zirconia with the metal bar, we're talking, that's our most expensive kind of solution. Having a single material bridge, let's say a long-term provisional, is going to be dramatically less than that. Hi guys, how you doing? Okay, so I'm going to interrupt myself here and just encourage you to hit like and subscribe. If you're finding this video useful, things like that, it's a completely simple action, would really help the channel and this video get found. If you are finding this useful, chances are somebody else will probably find it useful. Maybe somebody else is in a similar situation to yourself. And my goal is really just to provide honest information based on the years of experience that I've had. And I just want to educate people in the advantages and the disadvantages of all of the kind of stuff we talk about on this channel. Okay, so please hit like, subscribe, and let's get back to the main content. Now, moving on from the absolutely fixed solutions, let's look at our removable solutions, okay? And there is one removable solution which is almost like our fixed one, okay? In that we have this metal bar and we have a set of teeth that go onto the metal bar. But the difference is the metal bar is screwed into position. The metal bar itself is screwed onto your implants and abutments, and then the removable part, the bridge or the denture, let's say, is clicked into this metal bar. Now this is a great solution because it lets you clean your teeth or your implants. You can take everything off for cleaning. It's really good like that. All of the biting force is on the implants. Okay, this is slightly different to our kind of locator option, which we're going to look at later. And a solution like this can actually help provide lip support at the top. Okay, and for some people, this is really, really important, and it's really overlooked, because if we're having a kind of a fixed prosthetic without any gum or any overlap over your natural gum, sometimes you can lose lip support up here, and sometimes it can affect your appearance, okay? And there's no way of getting around this if you have something which is completely fixed, because the prosthetics, the teeth, they need to be cleanable to have a long-lasting solution. And by having a piece of material going over the gums from the front, you lose that cleanability and your implants are doomed. I mean, here's an x-ray of a lady who came to see us many years ago. She had this kind of style of prosthetics. We talked about options, but for whatever reason, she wasn't ready to go ahead. Fast forward a few years, and now the x-ray has less implants in it because these implants have been lost through gum disease around the implants. And in fact, we actually removed one other implant and placed another one elsewhere to help rescue this lady. But if you have a removable set of teeth, cleaning is never a problem, and that's why this solution is lovely as long as you can get your head around having something which is removable. Now, the most common removable solution is the Locator denture solution, and this is often called clip-in teeth, and you'll hear it called other things, but essentially we have our implants with these little connectors on them, and in this case we've got little black connectors. And then the removable part, the denture or the removable bridge, has got these little inserts in it. And it's like a little male and female connection. It literally just clicks into position and that's it, you're good for the day. You're not going to really get much food stuck underneath this as long as it's, close fitting, and it can feel quite minimal as well. So people who have this actually love this kind of solution. It's really nice, but there's that mental hurdle to get over in order to accept something that you're able to remove, be it just for a few hours a day, just for cleaning. But ideally, if you can leave this kind of solution out overnight, you're going to have the healthiest gums. Now, there is a variation on this. We can use mini implants rather than using these full-blown, full-sized implants. And full-sized implants are great because they are bigger and the connection is bigger, the end result is more sturdy. But mini implants offers a more cost-effective solution, and it offers a solution for some people where they don't have enough bone for standard size implants, and maybe going a step further, like looking at zygomatic implants, which is a topic for another day. The mini implants is a really nice solution for a small segment of people who are in that kind of situation. Now, the last solution that I want to talk about is that kind of grey area solution, and there's not many implant companies who even provide this kind of connection. Okay, so it's a special connection, and the one that I'm going to talk about is by a company called Ankylos, and it's called their Syncone system. Now, I like this system, although I've never ever used it, and I've never actually provided this solution for patients. I'm aware of this solution, and there's a number of things which I kind of like about it. Okay, so it's relatively cost effective. The implants and materials used for this are not typically as expensive as a custom-made, full zirconia with a metal framework. You could have an acrylic denture, which is really cost-effective, really cheap to have. And then these little inserts are different because they're like little gold copings which go over the implant. And the material is really important here because gold is soft. So when this is fitted, first of all, it should be a good fit to begin with, but as you chew, as you use the teeth, it kind of sits in and it becomes a better fit over time. So these are really solid solutions. Sometimes you need to almost knock it with a hammer or use a spoon to remove it. They're that kind of close fitting. So this is what I mean, at what point do we call it a fixed solution? Because at the end of the day, I feel our patients, what they want is something that doesn't move, okay? It doesn't have the traditional stigma that a denture has. When we use the word denture, then we think of teeth moving around, or you're out at dinner and you say something and you laugh and your teeth fall out, okay? These extremely embarrassing situations, these are the kind of the pictures that we sometimes draw in our mind. And that's why I sometimes use the word bridge, okay, just to kind of get away from this, because anything implant related, anything where you've got a connection to a dental implant is very different to a completely removable bridge. If you've got no implants at all, you can actually have a denture which fits really well, especially the upper. However, the vast majority are not like this, and that's why dentures typically have a bad name. That's why any removable prosthetics typically has a bad name. So I hope this video has been useful in trying to explain the different options. I haven't gone deep into each of these options, and I hope you got something out of it. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments. I do read the questions and comments, and sometimes it inspires videos. Like this video was inspired by somebody who left a comment.